What's up? This is Cool Cuz coming to you from Team King of Games, coming at you again with the spice, guys. Gonna be showcasing my invoked cubics. Yes, invoked cubics, guys. And you will not believe the build that I have ready for you guys. This is way too good. It's kind of like a glass cannon. Let's jump right into this. We're gonna start off with 3 Alistar the Invoker, the starter of the deck. Usually, if I don't start off with him, it's not a very good thing. There's 2 other cards that I can use that I can go into him with, or search him out with, and I can go from there. 3 Duza, Cubic Vessel. If you guys don't know what he does, you guys don't know what Alistar does, you need to spank yourselves and read these guys. I'm not going to explain them to you. They are very, very popular cards nowadays, and you guys should know what they do. If you don't, that's just sad. Most people don't know what invokers do. I'll talk about the extra deck monsters, but the main deck I will not. 2 of YUGIOH, the Cubic King. This is just my win target for the Invoker plays. He also can special summon himself using any cubic monster by sending it to the graveyard, and when he special summons, he burns my opponent for 800. So if I can double up on him, that's a nice 16 right there in your face. And then 3 of the almighty Crimson Nova. I mean, I don't have that many cubic cards in the deck, but he can still, just in case, he can still be summoned. He can be summoned. He's unaffected by monster effects that are 3,000 attack or less, and if he does destroy a monster by battle, he attacks again. He's too good. And then, just to get more plays started, I run the 1 Scorpio and 3 Cobra. I don't have other copies of Cobra, but hey, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Only 2 proxies in the deck. These are only 2. But this combo is just bomb. If I get him and a monster to discard, instantaneous Saruja. Instant Saruja. Busted. And then the other 2 one-ofs, my last 2 monsters are the Clown and my Gem Knight monster. So I can go into my Saruja. So that is the monster count. Right into the spells. Magical Meltdown. Just by activating Magical Meltdown, searches out Alistar. Searches out Alistar the Invoker, the only main deck Invoker monster. Searches him out just by activating it. And it also protects fusion monsters' effects from being chained to. So this is a very strong field spell. Terraforming. Search it out. Allure of Darkness. This is my Allure of Darkness copies. This is why I didn't want to take them out when I made my previous profile video. Yeah, this is where they are. 2 Brilliant Fusion to go ahead and get that summon going and go into Seraphonite. Invocation. Now, Invocation is polymerization, but it has way more. If it's in the graveyard and an Alistar, the Invoker, the main deck monster, is banished, I can activate the second effect to shuffle this card back into the deck and add that banished Alistar back to hand. But that effect is only once per turn. So there's only 2 copies because of that specific effect. And on top of that, it's still searchable with Alistar. When Alistar is normal summoned, search Invocation. I said I wasn't going to tell you, but I did. Oh well. 3 Foolish Burial Goods for my cubic spells and traps. And this Cubic Karma, when it's in the graveyard, you can banish it from the graveyard, and it searches out a cubic monster. Cubic Wave. When activating on Cubic Wave, you can target 1 cubic monster I control and an opponent's monster. And my monster gains double the attack. My opponent's monster loses half of their attack. doesn't gain, it just loses half, and my monster gains half. My last two spells, my last one-ofs, just the upstart to make it a 40 card deck. It's 41, and the Monster Reborn for the Monster Reborns because it's back. Why not have it in every single deck that I build? And for the last of the deck itself, of 41 cards, the Unification of the Cubic Lords. Now, this card is really, really good. If it's in the graveyard, it's also poly, only for the cubic fusion. I don't have the cubic fusion in this deck, and it doesn't matter, so I don't use it. But when it's in the graveyard and a cubic monster leaves the field for any reason, I can banish it from the graveyard and special summon a level 4 or lower cubic monster from my deck, and it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects for the rest of the turn. That is the main deck. I'll jump right into the extra deck. If I had 2 copies, I would run 2 copies of Alistar of Madness. Screw the rest of his name. He's Alistar of Madness. Off the top of my head, I can't remember his effect. So he requires 2 monsters with different types and attributes. And he's also Alistar the Invoker while on the field and in the graveyard. If a monster is fusion summoned while you control this monster, except during the damage step, you can discard 1 card. If you do, add Invocation or the Book of Law from your deck to your hand. If this face-up card you control leaves the field because of an opponent's card effect, add 1 Omega Summon from your deck to your hand. Omega Summon I do not run, of course, but it's very, very, very good. The one Saruja Skuldred, once I activate Brilliant Fusion, instant summon for this guy. If you don't know what he does, that is definitely I'm not going over. The one Underclock Taker, because usually I can definitely go into him just in case if I have, extra monsters left over and I need Saruja out of the way or something like that. I've already used 3 of his effects or whatnot. I'll just go into Underclock. 3, Mekaba or Makaba, however y'all want to pronounce it. His effect is when your opponent activates an effect, I can discard the same type of card and negate and banish that card. So he's in my opinion, he's the second strongest invoked monster. He's the second strongest to me. The first strongest is Kaliga. He stops monster effects completely. He doesn't negate them. He doesn't do anything else, but he completely stops them. If my opponent activates a monster effect, his effect would chain right after that. And after that effect resolves, you cannot activate any more monster effects for the rest of this card's presence. So, yeah, try and beat around that. You can't. You're screwed. If you're able to summon anything more than 18 defense, trust me, I have an Alistar waiting on you. Read Alistar's effect. The rest of the invokers, Raijin, is that he can target a face-up monster on the field and flip it face down. So that's really, really effective when I go first and my opponent's going second, and I'm able to bring him out because I have 2 targets for win targets. And if I had Book of Law, I could summon him off of Book of Law. Invoked Cocytus. He doesn't really do much. All he can do is attack and defense with his 29 butt. Really, really big. He can swing in defense. I haven't actually summoned him yet. I don't have any. I have played with the deck before. It's busted. I haven't summoned Purgatrio yet. I plan to use his summon with my opponent's monster because Invocation allows me to banish one of my opponent's monsters to special summon any invoked monster. So I can't wait to use my opponent's Ash or something like that. And then Elysium, whatever. Invoked Elysium, whatever. I don't know what it does. I just keep it in the deck because it's pretty. and then the Seraphonite, and the last tech of the main deck, the extra deck, is the True King of all Calamities. I run Calamities because Mechaba is a level 9, and I could definitely summon 2 Mechabas in my own in the same turn. I really could. Especially after using his effect twice. If I still want to shut my opponent down, I can still do that. So that's the deck, and that's the extra deck. The cubic, invoked cubic. It's really busted. It has terrific plays. It has horrible draw power. I only have 3 cards in there that can draw. It's not very consistent, but it's really fun once I do get a good hand. If I do get a good hand and I'm going first, best believe you're gonna see some plays. You're gonna see some plays. I'm probably gonna do some editing to it just to try to make it a little bit more consistent. I've only got 4 cards for draw power. It's not all that, but the searching this deck can do, like Ash doesn't stop this deck. The only card in the entire game that can stop this deck completely in its tracks is Droll and Lockbird. That's it. That's really it. You ash me once, okay, I'm gonna keep searching, sure. So if you can stop monster effects and spell traps, I mean, while I'm going first, then you might have a chance to stop, you know, a dual Mechaba from hitting the field, or Mechaba and Kaliga, or Mechaba and Raijin. I mean, I'm just saying, like, the plays I can make and the fields I can make with this deck are sometimes unbeatable because I stop you before you can stop me. So this is really cool. I'm glad I was able to showcase this to you guys. I've been working on it pretty hard. Thank you guys for watching this video, and Cool Cuz out. Peace.